Probably the Spurs. The Spurs
yeah.
coach Greg Popovich often rests his veterans at least one game when playing back-to-back days, but he didn't do that last night versus the Warriors. Tim Duncan played 35 minutes, Tony Parker 30, Manu Ginobili played 26 minutes off the bench, and the Spurs 113-100 win. So here's the question that we pose, gentlemen. Should they have played?
I'll go first here, Grim. Stephen A. Smith, I had very, very mixed emotions by what I watched into the night last night. My San Antonio Spurs. Go, Spurs, go. I must admit to you, earlier in the day, I told Ernestine, well, at least I don't have to stay up to watch my Spurs tonight, because there is no way that Pop will allow Duncan and Ginobili to play after the game that they had played the night before at Clippers, down to the wire, literally stole that game with 6 steals in the fourth quarter. And lo and behold, I turned on NBA TV at 10:30 Eastern, and what do I hear? Duncan and Ginobili are going to play, because they have gone to Pop and said, you've got to let us play this back-to-back. And I must admit, Stephen A., you know, I will criticize Pop on occasion, though I love and admire and respect him. I wouldn't have let them play at 39 and 37 back-to-back last night against, we could argue this, but the hottest and maybe the current best team in the beast that is the West. The Golden State Warriors, in that building that you well know, might be the toughest place to play in the NBA right now. But I have mixed emotions. Again, this is a pay me now, pay me later. I would much rather have Duncan and Ginobili fresh and healthy for the playoffs than to win one early season game at Golden State. But in this case, when they committed to play and they committed to win that game, it was a tour de force. I could not stop watching. They put the Golden State Warriors right back in their place. They retaught them the lessons they have taught them before. Now, Steph Curry went 0 for 7 from 3, which is obviously a rarity. But my Spurs are the best at making him very uncomfortable at getting and taking three-point shots. So, in the end, I loved it that they made an early season statement. You don't got next, Golden State. But I'm a little scared about it, because you might pay for that later in the season.
You know, I'm not. Now, you know I picked the Clippers to come out of the West, but we all know that the San Antonio Spurs are the best team in the NBA, simply because they're the reigning defending world champions. On top of it all, the chemistry, the cohesiveness that they have is unparalleled, because they've been playing together so long, being coached by the same coach in the same system so long. They know what each other's doing with their eyes closed. They don't even have to think about it. It's instinctual, it's natural, and it's something that you can't teach. Only time can give you those things. I say all of that to say, Skip Bayless, that let me tell you what scares me about the San Antonio Spurs. The fact that Popovich was willing to play them last night, because that tells me, you know what, that these guys are on their own kind of mission. The one thing they haven't accomplished in their illustrious careers with one another is capturing back-to-back titles. And I think it's clear that they're on their mission. Skip, none of them averaged 30 minutes or more a game the entire year last season. Popovich did a masterful job of really managing that. Right now, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Kawhi Leonard are all averaging 32 or more minutes per game. Keep your eyes on that. If San Antonio can stay healthy, I think they win the chip again. I picked the Clippers because we were all under the impression that in all probability, San Antonio, due to age and attrition, would not be able to stay healthy for the entire season going through the playoffs. But I will acknowledge that last night told me something a tad bit different, because it says to me, yeah, they were 1-3. Tim Duncan and those guys could have easily said it's early in the season, there's nothing to worry about. But last night, them convincing Popovich to let them play tells me how bad they want another title.
Sure.
And what I'm saying to you is that they always want it badly, but they're treating every game like that now. They don't want to give anybody an edge. It's early, so what? We're the champions, and we're coming to defend what we've earned. That tells me something special about this team. And this is piggybacking off losing in the finals the year before last, and then coming back and reclaiming what they thought was rightfully theirs. And now they're still on this mission. I think we're seeing a level of hunger. I think we're seeing a level of hunger from them we need to watch.
Okay.
Golden State, hey, I love what I'm seeing from Klay Thompson.
So do I. But over time, those minutes have to come down under 30.
Sure they will.
And as they get Splitter healthy, Patty Mills healthy, Bellinelli healthy, I think it will start to even out a little bit. But let me say, speaking of crunch berries, Tim Duncan and Manu apparently are not eating any breakfast cereal whatsoever because they are as in shape, a 39 and 37-year-old. You want to talk about sleek bodies? You want to talk about fit? You want to talk about pep in step in their upper 30s?
Well,
these guys, they look sensational last night. They look like they were 29-year-olds.
One last point. Skip, I stopped doing this a long time ago. Not only do I genuinely like him, I say this affectionately, I think he's one of the biggest phonies going because Greg Popovich is an incredibly nice guy, not nearly as acerbic as they try to make him out to be. He's a fantastic coach, Skip. I don't question whatever Greg Popovich does. He does it. The man knows what he's doing. I trust him completely.
He's got some rings to back it up.